Hello everybody, Hawk here today, and today I'm bringing you Shadow Rider box predictions. No, I'm not starting with Supreme King, I'm gonna figure that one out later. We're starting with Camula. She seems to be the simplest one, in my opinion, to figure out. And, this is the list I have. Now, this is not a dream list. This is not a, oh god, it'd be so cool to have this. This is what I think is reasonable. I think this is a reasonable guess as to what they could give us. Granted, some of these seem probably a little high-rolly, and I'm probably going to be wrong on over half of them, but these are based off of what Camula used in the anime, or we've seen her be able to use. There's two monsters she has that we don't have, they don't exist, and a couple of back row, so I've tried to simulate them the best as I am capable. Two, what she has used in video games. That's why there's a bunch of modern cards in here. So, with that in mind, because that's what I assume Speed Duels would be using, more or less, let's get to it. Vampire Lady, obvious, she is a vampire deck. These were the first vampire monsters. She's not good, but that's not the point. She's going to be in the deck because she was in Camula's deck. Vampire Lord getting a reprint here. Same reason, he's in the deck, it's fine. Vampire Genesis, her boss monster. He is not good. He is frickin' terrible. You could, of course, have a skill that makes him not bad, which is nice. But I'm not sure what that skill would be. I mean, he's already a zombie master, which is, like, neat. But the problem is it's kind of a finicky revival. And you can't bring back Vampire Lord because, you know, we're not allowed to do that. She did also actually have Despair from the Dark, so he's getting a reprint, probably. Yeah, I didn't know she had him either. She didn't play him. He was in her hand. This is where we sort of wander off here. Vampire's Curse just feels like a very natural inclusion. He's actually not even a terrible tribute. I mean, pay 500 life points and he comes back at a 2,500. That's cute. I mean, he has to be dead by battle, which kind of sucks, but hey, it's fun. Ryokoki, she did have this card. So this would be our other big boy. Which leads into this thing. Please give us Pyramid Turtle. Please, for the love of God, give us Pyramid Turtle. She didn't have this. Everything after this she didn't have. I'll tell you what she had in the back row, but this she has not had. She's had these in video games, though. She has definitely had Pyramid Turtle, and in the computer game, she's had these two for the Vampire Xyz deck. Gozuki is just a natural inclusion here, because I don't think they want to give us, you know, Mizuki, because Mizuki's really good. Gozuki requires more setup, more effort. He's still good, but not ridiculous. But Pyramid Turtle would turn this entire deck on, and you could just play Dead Rat. It'd be Rat, Turtle, and then Koki. And then you can just have fun. It'd be great. These two are just because she's a vampire, and these two are fairly low effort and not ridiculous, which is nice. So, you know, you can special summon them. You can discard vampire cards from your hand or in your graveyard to special summon them. This searches a spell. This searches a monster. These are fine. Just don't put anything stupid in, and we don't have a problem. We're probably going to get a Book of Life and a Call of the Mummy reprint. I'm sorry, you have to accept we're going to get reprints. I mean, reprint. Yeah, you're going to get those. It's appropriate for her, and I know it's irritating, but it's what's going to happen. So with these two boring ones out of the way, because I think they're just inevitable, let's get to the fun stuff. Vampire's Desire. Ignore this first one. This first one doesn't really do anything unless you want to Foolish. I mean, it's another copy of Foolish Barrow specifically for vampires, which is neat. But you have to send a vampire monster. Meaning, you could send Vampire Lord or Lady, or don't think Curse counts because it's vampires, Familiar or Retainer. Those are both good. And then you can change the level of a thing. That's the completely unimportant part. But unless we're doing room for growth shenanigans, that'd be kind of funny, actually. Don't think it'd be good, but it'd be funny. But it's a Foolish. The other effect is it's just another copy of book. You just have to send something off the field in order to do it. Which is fine. I mean, I looked at this and I went, this is not broken. This is just good. It's either a Foolish, or it's a worse Book of Moon, or Book of Life. Which is fine. It's completely fine. This card's 100% okay. It's very specific on what it is allowed to summon. That's why it's fine. Maybe a way to get, like... Actually, you can't get him back because he's got to be special summoned from your hand, because we're stupid, not allowed to have that. The other one here is Zombie Power Struggle. Because it's fine. It's just 1,000 attack for a zombie. And, you know, if you banish Vampire Lord to make Genesis, you can shuffle him back into the deck with it to put to set this after you use it. That's it. That's all it does. It's Berserk Scales with no downside for zombies. That's fine. Also, Smashing Ground. She's used this in Spirit Caller. I'll take Fissure. I will accept Fissure, but I'd prefer Smashing Ground. Frankly, I think for us, it's not really a big deal either way. We would just like some frickin' removal. It's not offerings to the Doomed or tribute, please, for the love of God. I'm not picky. I'll take either or. You can give me Smashing Ground. You can give me Fissure. Either or. I won't debate it. Just give me one. Now, the traps are where things get weird because I can't use any of her traps because they don't exist. So I have done my best to find ones that are comparable to what she has used in the video games. This one I think is just more neat than anything else because it would help with a Monarch strategy, which would be nice for getting, you know, unbricking your hand a little. So you banish a zombie monster from either graveyard, special summon 2 haunted tokens with the same level as the banished monster. If it's in the graveyard, you can shuffle one of your banished zombie monsters into the deck, and if you do, set this card. Banish it when it leaves the field. That's it. Just get 2 tokens. This is fine. I mean, this would help out Plasma. Just other thing. But basically, this is not broken, Konami. This card is not broken at all. You have to have a zombie in the grave, and then you get 2 tokens. Woo! It's fine. It's completely fine. This is boring. It just enables Destiny Hero Plasma. It'd be nice for the vampires, so they can, you know, tribute stuff for things. It's useful. It's a useful card. It's not broken. Please. I almost feel like I'm begging here, but I'm like, I don't think this is at all unreasonable, and it's a newer card, and it's kind of neat. You know, I mean, they gave us Haunted Shrine. I don't see why this would be an issue. Vampire Domination is probably a little questionable, because it's an Omni. But you have to control a vampire for that. It's not a big deal. I mean, they gave us Champion's Vigilance and Emergeroid. I was kind of amazed by that, but they gave us... We have 2 Omnis. I don't think this is unreasonable at all. And if you do destroy the card, then if it was a monster card, gain life points equal to its original attack. The reason I picked this one is she had a card called Red Moon, and you had to discard a zombie monster to do that when they got attacked, and then you gained life points equal to one of your opponent's monsters, and then you ended the battle phase. This is like the closest thing I could find to that. That's not Rainbow Life. I mean, we already have Rainbow Life. Please don't reprint Rainbow Life. This is a little more in line with what's going on. Now, granted, it's an Omni, and with Retainer, it's searchable, so... You know, I'm just saying, that might be a bit much. I don't think it's that crazy. But I'm just saying, it could be. Just saying. I don't think us having an Omni is that ridiculous. I mean, frankly, I would say you give us Solemn Judgment. We could burn through all of our life points, but probably a bad idea. Compulse, because she's had it in, like, every deck she's ever ran in a video game. Also, you can just give us Compulse. I mean, if you're feeling paranoid, you could give Compulsory Escape Device, which is technically worse, but also somewhat better, because they go into the deck. I mean, I have to have a thing on board, but it's okay. Dust Tornado getting a reprint here. I don't think that's unreasonable. She's had in a lot of decks. Trap Hole she's had in a bunch of decks, and we can just have Trap Hole. Guys, we can just have Trap Hole. It's okay. It's okay. We can have Trap Hole, guys. It's fine. It's okay, Konami. We can have Trap Hole. Just saying. Just saying. Alright, so you probably noticed down here is a list of cards. These are the maybes. If Konami's feeling a little extra kinky, except for escape device. That one was more of an alternate for evacuation. I kind of just want normal compulse, but whatever. So these other 4 are the... Konami, if you want to get frisky, you can feel free to substitute any of the things up here, except maybe this boy. Please don't substitute this boy. For any of the ones down here. So, start with Red Baron. If you don't know, you can pay 1,000 life points to target one monster your opponent controls and one other vampire monster you control. And then you switch control those monsters. At the end of the battle phase, if this card destroyed an opponent's monster by battle, you can special summon them from the graveyard to your field. He's creature swap on legs, which is terrifying, especially because you'll be hanging out with Retainer or Familiar. And then you just flip them around and plow into them with the big 2,400 boy. That's kind of why I think he's reasonable. He's 2,400. He's not that big, and he's got a tiny ass. He is 1,000 defense. He is super squishy if you're flipping face down. The other one here is Vampire Duke. Oh, we can ignore the first part because it's just him not being able to be used for Xyz summoning stuff, which we don't have. But it's fine that we have a card that talks about it. When it is normal summoned, so you actually do have to tribute summon him, you can target one dark vampire monster in your graveyard, special summon that target in defense position. When this card is special summoned, you can declare one card type. Your opponent sends one card of that type from their deck to the graveyard. This is fine. You can tribute summon, and then you can get back, you know, a Lord. Or if you tribute summon Lady, you can summon Lady. And it's in defense, so it's fine. We're not doing crazy swarming stuff yet. You can get a thing on the board, and it gets you some board presence, and that's good. But it's in defense mode, so it's kind of meh. But hey, you get a body on board. That's useful. Vampire Scarlet Scourge is probably a little more questionable. I mean, if you don't think Red Baron's questionable. I don't think Red Baron's questionable. He's just a really good monarch. Scourge is maybe a little more there. If it's normal special summon, you can pay 1,000 life points to target one vampire monster in your graveyard, except Scourge. Special summon it, but it cannot attack this turn. So he's a just pay life points. It's on the board. It just can't attack. So again, we're stopping in a massive OTK push if you pull off something a little crazy. And again, these two are particularly dependent on what other vampires are involved here. If it's just Lord and Lady and then one of them, no one cares. Once you get like Retainer and Familiar in here and maybe like a second name beyond Duke or Scourge, I mean, if you have both of them, you can just kind of create this crazy loop where you can just keep summoning them and just keep having a body on board, which is kind of neat. Alright, so you can, except Scarlet, obviously, special summon it. You can only use this effect of Vampire Scarlet Scourge once per turn. At the end of the battle phase, if this card destroyed any monster by battle, you can special summon them from the graveyard to your hand. So that's the other effect they do. So we'll just Zombie Master it. And I think that's fine. I don't think Zombie Mastering is that absurd, especially when you have 3 slots. So you kind of want to be picky about what you're grabbing anyway. You're not just going to casually grab it, and we can't go into a main phase 2 and then link them off. So what are you doing with most of them? Chump blocking? It's fine. Now this one, I could see as a skill. I could see Camula getting this as a skill. I don't know what her other skill would be, but I could see this being a skill. So once per turn, pay up 500 life points. It would just literally be the skill of this. Put this in the back row and then proceed. But yeah, pay 500 life points during your main phase. This turn, you can normal summon one vampire monster in addition to your normal summon set. Even if this card leaves the field, you can only gain this effect once per turn. Each time your vampire monster inflicts battle damage to your opponent, gain the same amount of life points. So I could see that being a skill. Be a good skill too. I mean, Mex is not a bad skill. It's a solid skill. A couple other ones sucked, but that's because they deny you a card. This wouldn't deny you a card because we don't do that anymore because we're, you know, intelligent. And this would be fine. I think that would be a good skill, personally. I don't know what else Camula would have for skills. Probably something involving Genesis. Please, for the love of God, do not give us 2 fucking skills involving Genesis. Do not pull an Axel Brody. I'm begging you, Konami. Like, if this is what Camula got, like, ignoring these, except maybe this is a skill, but let's just say this is what Camula got. Like, if this is her pile of cards, I'd be happy with that. This would be fine. It'd be pretty good, actually, I would think. I mean, most of the vampire cards are only okay because we are running entirely on Lord here. maybe Genesis, but it's pretty much just Lord exclusively holding this thing up. But you'd have some good stuff to play with. I mean, you have Vampire Domination. That's a really good card. It's searchable with Retainer. That's nice. You could play Dead Rat, which is just good. You can just straight up play Dead Rat and then cheat out Vampire's Curse. So you can have 2 idiots if you want. This one brings himself back, and this guy's just gigantic. So enjoy that. Gozuki's just a solid zombie to have. You know, there'd be options. You have more than one deck that comes out of this, and that's kind of what I'm hoping to have happen. So, what do you guys think? Is this a utter pipe dream? Am I being completely unrealistic? Should I have aimed higher? Personally, I think I might have aimed a little too high, considering how Konami did Midterm Paradox, but I kind of hope this is like an average shot, is where I'm hoping. I'm hoping this is like a good shot. I'm rambling slightly. Anyway, remember to like, share, subscribe, all that wonderful stuff. Leave a comment below. Peace out, everybody.